everybody, I'm Esther from Crate at Arizona Science Center, and today our demonstration is Makey Makey painting. What that's going to include is Makey Makey, which is pretty much working with circuits. We're going to be using Scratch, which is coding, and we're going to use some art materials. What I'm going to do real quick is I am now going to move the camera to our art area, our work area. So please excuse me while I do that. And of course my helper is here. Okay. And I'm going to get this ready so I am able to see any questions that anybody has. I noticed that there is a delay while this is running. So feel free to type in your answers and I will get to them as soon as I see them. There just might be a momentary delay.
Get this ready so I am able to see.
Okay. So what we have right now, I'm going to start off with talking about Makey Makey and circuits. I already have this set up. A lot of bunch of wires coming out of this. Oh. Yeah. Okay, and I'll explain what everything's going on. So Makey Makey is, you can see this, it's a printed circuit board. Okay, I don't have to code or solder or do anything with it. It connects with alligator clips, and on this we had connected paintbrushes. Okay, if you notice, I've got my green alligator clip, a little tape to make sure that the wire holds. The alligator clip is clipping onto wire, and if you notice, there's a wire connected to the brush. Okay, so I have up, right, left, down. Okay, also on the bottom we have something, says earth. Another word for earth is ground. So I have something connected to ground, which is, right now I have ground connected to the paper. I'm just going to touch this ground where it's conductive. Okay, conductive meaning that electricity will flow through it, and our skin is conductive, so I have that. And I'm going to find my brush. And I'm going to touch the brush and I'm going to touch the ground. And I need to make sure I'm touching the part that's conductive. I'm going to put a little water on this so the brush is conductive. Okay, and now I'm going to touch the ground. And might need a, there we go. Okay, so sometimes you have to adjust stuff with the clips. But if you notice, every time I touch the brush, that light's not coming on. But if I touch the brush and then touch, there we go again with, if I touch the brush and touch ground, let's see if I can do it from a place that you can see what I'm doing. There we go. I'm touching the ground and the brush, and what's happening is I have a circuit. So that means that electricity is running, say, from the brush through me into the ground, and then you notice this wire right here is running running to my computer. So what this does is anytime I make that connection with the ground, make that circuit, and that sends that flow to my computer. So instead of me pushing the up key on my computer, I'm using this as my up key. And I'll make a little bit more sense once I start painting. But I'm using this as a human interface tool. In other words, instead of using my mouse or a keyboard, those are human interface tools. With the computer, I'm using the Makey Makey to make my own customizable ones. Okay. So, if I chose to put a little water on this orange one, the orange one's connected to my right arrow. Actually, apparently it's... Oh, I grabbed the down arrow. So now that down arrow one is lighting up. Awesome! Thank you, Lane. I actually tested the sound. I'm using a different camera instead of my phone this time. So I'm glad to hear that. Okay, so I'm going to be switching to another scene and explaining coding. I think that switched it. Let's find out. There's a delay. Oh, here we go. I think, yes. Okay. So, hopefully what you're seeing on the screen shortly is what I'm seeing on my laptop. There we go. This is Scratch. You can make a free Scratch account online. I'm going to give this a few moments. That way I can make sure that the screen is the same on here. Yeah, it looks like the screen is still the same. Yeah, okay, awesome. I'm gonna make this to where we can see more better. There we go. Better. Okay, so this is Scratch. Like I said, it's free online, scratch.mit.edu. It's coding. It's drag and drop blocks. Allows you to do a lot of different little things. And I already have other arrows set up. I am going to be adding some more. So we have an event. Event means it's going to do something. So I'm just dragging that in. And down arrow is the only arrow I don't have. Also, I like Scratch because I can, instead of doing everything linear, I can kind of set this up how my controller is set up. That way, visually, everything is similar. But you can set it up any way you like that helps you. We're going to stop sound. And I'm going to add a look. And this is going to be switch backdrop. And I think I want my backdrop to be forest. And I'm going to add a sound. There we go. Oh. So I have different code on here. Yeah. And I'm going to use the scratch. You won't see the scratch right now, but I'm going to use the Makey Makey and scratch. You won't see the Makey Makey on screen quite yet, but to show how the two interface. And so, right now I got a bigger brush and I am coating that paper I had before. I'm wetting it down. So the paper is conductive now. If I tried to do this while it was completely dry, it wouldn't work so well. We need conductive items to make this work. Okay. So right now I have Arctic. Backdrop with her little cat friend. And I'm gonna put a little blue and sometime this is okay. So you should hear a sound. And I don't even need to put paint on this, but makes it more fun. So blue backdrop, I got a little sound. And now I'm going to grab my right brush. And let's see. I chose forest, so I'm going to go green. So the backdrop changed. There's a different sound. Okay. Next one we had, I kept, what's really nice, it's really easy to change things in Scratch, so I'm going to change this backdrop. Okay. Also, when you click on a block of code, it instantly shows you what happens. Okay, so I got my down arrow brush that I am going to pick up. And I'm going to show this with me actually painting too. I got my down brush and it's flowers. I think the flowers were reddish, so I'll go with the red. Now our cat friend is there. And then we got our left arrow, which was desert, which could be brown or orange. I'm going to go with orange. Orange is one of my favorite colors. So, and you noticed with the coding, each goes in steps. It says when I touch the up arrow, or in this case I use the Makey Makey as my up arrow, it turns off all sounds. Okay, if I took that away, stop all sounds, all the sounds would be playing every time I touch something, which could be fun. Or it could be a little bit more overloading, a little confusing. So it depends on what program you're making. Let's stop all sounds. Switch backdrop. So when I hit that up arrow, it's gonna change that backdrop, and it's also gonna play a sound. So you can even make yourself like a little game with painting or whatever other conductive tools you want to use. Okay, so I'm gonna switch back to camera. I think it switched back to camera. Find out in a second. Yeah, we are back to camera. Okay. So imagine what I did on screen just now. Anytime I got my down arrow, got a little water. Paper's not as wet anymore. There we go. Get that water going. So we heard the little chime. So every time I choose a different brush, just imagine that the screen has changed. Also, you know, normally with different programs or different games, there's multi-button. So I'm going to grab my up and my right. And get two different colors. And so on my screen that I can see, the background is changing rapidly, the sound's changing rapidly because I'm pressing both these buttons. So, to review, we made a human interface device using Makey Makey. There are alligator clips connected to it that connect to brushes, also connected to earth, aka ground. When the ground is connected, when the ground is, and I'm touching the brush, we have a circuit. And I'll switch back to the Scratch screen. Which I think is when I hit. And we had coding. So, I could have decided to paint something up really quick. Sometimes it's just fun to play with the colors. But we made our circuit and we set up our code. So I could be sitting here painting and watching things change on my screen. So it allows us to work with our hands and our eyes and more of our senses. Gives it a whole interactive thing. Okay. I'll give it a few more minutes in case anybody has any questions about this demo. And again, thank you for joining us every day at 9:30 and 1 with our different Facebook Lives. And I'll just, let's say I just paint one of my favorite things. Try to paint a little sun. I'll just give it a few more. So my sound isn't playing on Scratch, but I know that my Makey Makey is working because of things are lighting up. Well, I think our our demonstration is pretty much wrapped up. Feel free, if you're watching this later, to put in any questions and we'll get them answered. Again, thank you so much for joining us for these Facebook Live demos.